All right. Hey, everyone. This is Dan Miller, Miller Financial Group. I'm joined here today on Better Financial Living with Trent Reinert. Trent is an attorney with the law firm. Now, I want to get the name right here, Trent. It is McGill, Gossdiner, Workman, and Lepp, correct?
That's correct.
All right, you bet. Well, I've known Trent for quite some time. And Trent, if you want to give a little background on your business or your firm and where you guys are located and kind of what you work with, what line of the law you work with.
You bet. Well, like Dan said, I've known Dan and Denise for a lot of years. I'm a Southwest Iowa native, grew up on a farm between Glenwood and Silver City. My dad raised purebred breeding stock for years. My mom is still there. My dad unfortunately passed away about 5 years ago. So I'm an attorney. I do a lot of agricultural work, a lot of tax work, estate planning work, estate administration work, and some general corporate work. The firm I'm with, we're based in Omaha. There's about 19 lawyers here right now, and we're kind of split down the middle. We have kind of a commercial side and a litigation side. I'm more on the commercial side. But this firm's been here for many years. We're located at 114th and Dodge. But a lot of my practice is in Iowa, in Southwest Iowa, which I really enjoy. It's been a way for me to kind of stay connected with the agriculture scene and the farms. So as far as personally, like I said, I grew up in Southwest Iowa, graduated from high school in Glenwood, married. My wife and I live here in Omaha. We have 3 boys. One's a sophomore in college, and I have 2 that are seniors in high school. So they're going to be graduating in whatever form of graduation they're able to do. And then we'll be empty nesters. So that'll be kind of crazy. So
there you go. Yeah.
That's kind of me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Trent, I can tell you, I feel for your boys this year. Tough year to be seniors, but I guess it's just, it'll be something for them to remember for sure.
Yeah. And they're doing fine with it. So
yeah, I know your boys play baseball and stuff, and kind of a tough way to end their senior season of baseball for sure. But
yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so what I wanted to do with you, Trent, is for us to visit a little bit about how is this impacting your firm, and how are you still working with clients there with your firm?
Well, it's had a major impact on our firm, as it probably has with every business. Basically, our firm is we're not shut down, but we don't have external client meetings. So the offices themselves, we're kind of split staff, and not everybody's here at the same time. We're located in a bank building, actually, and that bank building is the same way. You have to have a secure badge to even get in, or have to have an appointment to be able to get in. So as far as client meetings, that's been affected quite a bit. We're staying busy though. Actually, we're actually busier than we were before, which doesn't seem possible, but we are. We're able to do a lot with technology. A lot of meetings like this, Zoom meetings are possible. We can do a lot with email and of course telephone calls. I like to connect with people and talk to them, so that's the way I do a lot of what we've done. So but it's had an impact. It's changed everything.
Absolutely. So what about one of the things I've seen quite a little bit in our industry, there's been a lot of talk about with estate planning. Again, I think with this virus going through, that it's brought people to think a little bit of maybe more about their own mortality and their legacy and some things like that. So Trent, have you seen any kind of an uptick with estate planning, or people have more questions or concerns right now?
Oh yes, for sure. And estate planning is an easy thing to put off. And when you see something like this happen, people do start to think about their mortality, and boy, I do need to address this and get it done. And so we've done more of that. And we can do a lot of that again through meetings like this and email, and get the documents drafted. We can do a lot of that now still, without face-to-face meetings. It's getting everything signed, which is tricky right now, because as you know, if you're doing a will, for example, you have to have 2 unrelated witnesses there and a notary to witness everything. And with the social distancing, that's nearly impossible right now. So we've had very little of that. and we've had to get creative with it. You know, there have been situations where we can go to a fairly remote location and people are sitting 6 feet apart, and we make it work. There have also been situations where people are in their cars in their parking lot and they're handing documents back and forth and you know, watching into the windows. So you really do have to get creative with it. Some of the states, including Iowa, has gone to remote notaries, but that's still kind of in its infant stages, I think, and how well that's working, I'm not exactly sure. So, and that's not a permanent thing either. So it gets tricky, and you do have to get creative with it.
I was just curious, you know, in our industry, we've been able to go to a lot of digital signatures with DocuSign and those type of things. But I guess with the estate planning world, that's probably not there yet.
It's not ideal to do it that way, in my opinion. So I guess I'm fashioned that way, but I haven't done it that way yet, and I don't think anybody in my office has.
I didn't know if that would be, I mean, again, I didn't know if that was acceptable with, you know, like you said, with being able to witness and some things like that. I didn't know if that was possible yet, some of those things.
And that's the problem. It's just, it's very difficult to get those things done.
Well, I will tell you, it has been a savior for us a little bit during this time. But I do know what you're saying as far as it, sometimes it almost makes it too easy. And, you know, we are all signing legal binding documents that absolutely need to be, you know, witnessed and everyone understand what they're signing. So I understand what you're thinking, you know, what you're saying there for sure.
It just opens up the challenges down the road, in my opinion. So it's an kind of uncharted territory, and I would rather not take the chances with it.
Sure. Well, I tell you, we're seeing all kinds of uncharted territory, you know, as a result of this. I mean, everybody talks about we're going to have a new normal, and I do believe that. I mean, I know for a fact that this is, I mean, our industry was evolving, you know, to more of a remote industry, not as a whole, but partially. And I think this will accelerate it even more. And I think you're going to see that in the legal profession. I think you're going to see that in the accounting profession. I think you're going to see that in real estate. I mean, I think you just go right down through all the professions, like, you know, professional entities like that. You're going to see a lot of change.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, good, bad, it's going to be different. Let's put it that way. So,
yeah, well,
you know, Trent, with the, as far as the tax filing deadlines, of course, have been pushed back. And, you know, as I think maybe I mentioned there in the beginning, that you are a tax attorney as well, and you do, especially I know you do a lot of ag taxes for farm families and other businesses like ours. And one of the things that we visited about there beforehand was some of the changes, of course, that have happened with the tax filing this year. If you want to elaborate on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, you bet. And I think everybody probably knows by now your April 15th deadline, which has passed. That deadline has been extended to July 15th. And before, there was some confusion on estimated tax payments. They had extended that first one, which is normally due April 15th. They extended that one out to July 15th, but the second payment that's normally due on June 15th, they hadn't moved it yet. They've now gone ahead and moved that second payment to July 15th also. So now you've got your first and second payments are due July 15th, and then I believe the rest of them are still at the regularly scheduled times. So, and that gives people extra time, I think, which is good. I don't know what kind of effect, if that'll just cause more people to procrastinate to the July 15th
deadline. Is that a hint to me? Are you telling me?
Well, I don't know. I'm not pointing but it, you know, it could happen. But those filing deadlines extending was needed, and I'm glad they did.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, Trent, I want to wrap this up here. I don't want to hold up this too long, but is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners and with the people watching today?
You know, I think we talked about estate planning. I would still tell people it's important to still get those things done. Whether you're facing your own mortality or not, you know, it gives people peace of mind to address those things. On the income tax side, you know, there have been so many updates on things. Hopefully people have started to receive their recovery rebates that they're supposed to be getting by now. I know those have started. It's a couple other things in your world, the early withdrawal penalties for retirement plans. Those have been waived for the time being. Required minimum distributions, as I understand, are waived for 2020. There's some updates on charitable contributions for people that before, if they didn't itemize, they weren't able to deduct any of their charitable contributions. I believe now even people who do not itemize are able to take a $300 above the line deduction there. And then on a business side, if there's a business, or you'll see it a lot of times, farming operations, and maybe one year they have a net operating loss or something. And the previous Tax Reform Act had eliminated any net operating loss carryback possibilities. Well, they've reinstated that. So now for tax years, I believe it's 18, 19, and 20, you're now allowed a 5-year carryback period, which can be beneficial for tax planning reasons for people sometimes. So those are just a few of the extra tax updates that I would throw out there. There have been so many legal changes with the CARES Act, and just the small business loans that are out there, the paycheck program. We're hoping yesterday the Senate passed, and I understand it goes to the House tomorrow. So hopefully that will get passed and that can be injected into the economy and help the small businesses there. So, but we could probably go on for an hour or more.
Oh, sure, absolutely. There's a lot of changes. So, no, Trent, I really appreciate you coming on here with me today. Again, I think it's good to get this information out to folks the best we can. And this is something that our firm, we just decided we were going to do. And so I really appreciate you coming on and spending a little time with me today. Last thing, if somebody wants to get hold of Trent Reinert at McGill Gottsdiner Workman and Lepp, what's the best way to do that?
Well, you can always call me. My office phone is 402-492-9200. You can also send me an email. It's just my name, Trent Reinert at mgwl.com. Also, feel free to visit our website, mgwl.com. We've have some newsletters out there, things like that. So, but love to talk to anybody that has questions.
You bet. All right, Trent. Well, hey, thanks a lot for coming on. Tell your family hello, and everybody stay healthy, and we'll talk again soon.
You do the same. Thanks a lot, Dan.
All right. Thank you.